Well, tonight, Wednesday, October 1st, we have some massive breaking news that is going to shake up the Colts defense for the remainder of the season. We're going to cover all that and more on this video. What's going on? It's Elijah from Sports Talk Indy. And we got some rattling news, honestly, tonight that I don't think anyone was prepared for, as it came out today, earlier in the day, that several players, the practice ability was overwhelmingly positive, honestly. There were a lot of players that I thought may not be able to practice that were back. We'll cover that again later in this video. But there's one player that kind of left us a little bit curious, and that was Xavier Howard, who was listed as a non-participant for a personal day. And then it came out tonight, about just short of an hour ago, that Xavier Howard has suddenly announced his retirement from the NFL, which I think is really, kind of shocking. Xavier Howard, only 32 years old, really struggled this weekend, especially in having to pull together against guys like Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, and then you even go forward to Tutu Atwell, who burned everyone for that game-sealing touchdown. I think this is a shocking loss. I think this is going to be bigger than maybe people realize, especially in the fact that the Colts don't have a ton of depth in this position. But we're hoping to get some players back, but we're going to cover right now what this means. What happened? This is a statement that he released. Throughout my career, I've always played football for the love of the sport. Howard said in his statement, I enjoyed everything that came with being a part in the NFL. It was my passion for the game that drove me. I love and appreciate the Miami Dolphins for drafting me and giving me the chance to play pro football. I cannot thank the Indianapolis Colts enough for continuing to letting me continue to live out my dream, but my dream has now changed. Now, Howard goes on to say in this statement that he fell in love with being able to be there for his family and for his kids. So obviously, we wish Xavier Howard all the best. It didn't work out with the Indianapolis Colts, and that's totally fine, but he left on his own accord. He left in a way that only he can, and we wish him all the best. But as a Colts channel, we have to cover what does this mean for the Indianapolis Colts. Now, this has massive implications because there's not a lot of depth in this position. You've got Kenny Moore, who is going to be out for a while, and then you've got new guys like Mekhi Blackmon and Mike Hilton who have stepped here, but the Xavier Howard clearly wasn't able to be there. You saw it against the game with the Broncos. You saw it again with the game against the Rams. He really he allowed 14 completions on 20 attempts, 183 yards and 2 touchdowns, and 131.9 quarterback rating. We're going to attribute so much of that to not having an offseason to prepare and having a week off. I don't want to knock Howard. I don't want to knock his ability. I don't think it worked out. I think there was clearly some flaws in the game, but again, he came in with so little preparation to be able to try and fill that void there. And I'm glad that glad that he got to step away on his own terms. So he was one of the best cornerbacks from 2018 to 2022. I think we've all remembered seeing highlights. He was Mr. Interception, right? But this means for the Colts some massive news, and there's again not a lot of depth. So here's the Colt depth chart as it stands for the cornerback positions. You've got Travarius Ward, obviously, who's playing lights out right now. You got Jonathan Edward, and then you got Kenny Moore, who's nursing an injury, and then Mekhi Blackmon and Mike Hilton. So not a lot of depth in this position, and this is going to be really Lou Anarumo's biggest challenge right now, and that is how do you make something out of nothing? How do you make something out of having 4 out of 5 guys that are currently starting who weren't even on the roster like last season? So you've got obviously that, and then on the other side, you've still got Zaire Franklin, Joe Bachie, but other than that, you really don't have a lot of depth in the linebacker position too. So this is really a depleted defense, and honestly, it could not have come at a better time. Not to sound like an overly positive person here, but this could not have happened at a better time because they are facing a 29th ranked Las Vegas rated defense and a 31st rated defense. Did I get that backwards? No, I got that right. Defense and offense, basically 29th and 30th in both. So this is obviously probably one of the better cases scenarios. Now, this should not be viewed as an easy win game. I don't think any game in the NFL should be rated as an easy win game, but for this stretch of the time when we're hoping that Kenny Moore is able to get back and be his normal self and get back to full health, and Mike Hilton continues to learn this defense, I think this is honestly the best time for it to come. And I appreciate Xavier Howard for doing it when he did it. Obviously, this is the beginning of the week as far as the football season goes. You've got Wednesday is the first practice. And so for him to be able to do this allows for the coaches and for the players to be able to adjust with missing Xavier Howard. And I think that this is going to be a really, really good move for the Colts. And this is going to be a really good move long-term through the rest of the season and, again, going forward. I, again, would not be shocked if the Colts continue to add some players. You look at the free agent market, you still got Asante Samuel Jr. If he's able to stay healthy, he would be a massive boost to this defense, just in the fact of that he is so good, so young, and so fast. And again, if he's able to stay healthy, he's going to be lights out. But what is the rest of the roster news? Because this is where I really want to spend the rest of our time here, and that is that Alec Pierce was a full participant today, and then you also had Matt Gonzalez, who was a limited participant today. That's great news. You saw it heavily in this game against the Los Angeles Rams. Now, there was one player that we're not going to name names, but definitely cost us the entirety of the game. But you also saw that Tanner Bortolini was not able to hold up against the Rams pass rush, which is one of the better pass rushes in all of football right now, and they have been for years. It's not fair that they went straight from Aaron Donald to Byron Young and immediately into Jared Verse. It's not fair, but that's just the way that it works in this league. I think that when you look at this offensive line, Matt Gonzalez and Tanner Bortolini is our next generation, our next version of Ryan Kelly and Quentin Nelson, two guys that came up around or at the same time. And really on that opposite side, I think this is going to be, they're almost going to rely on each other, much like young Quentin Nelson and Ryan Kelly did for so many years. This is one of the better offensive lines in all of football. And if Matt Gonzalez is able to come back, I think it's going to buy even more time for Daniel Jones. This isn't an easy win for the defensive line of the Las Vegas Raiders. They still have Max Crosby, who is one of the, if not the premier pass rusher in football right now. And so having Matt Gonzalez back is going to be absolutely crucial, especially because that is the side that Max Crosby is going to rush on. But even more pivotal, I think, for this game is that Alec Pierce all signs are pointing to him being fully back and ready to go against the Raiders. It was a big miss not having him last weekend. And Adonai Mitchell, wish him all the best. Hope that he is able to figure it out, but he's not that. And he has clearly shown that you cannot rely on him to win you football games right now at his current state of mind. And so we're hoping that Alec Pierce being back is going to be the difference maker. All of that. Massive Wednesday already, the beginning of the week for the NFL. And we already have just absolutely shaking news going on. We're going to cover all that and more. And please like and subscribe so you can stay up to date on everything going on Indianapolis Colts. We'll see you on the next one.